Vente's reign of terror continued. So I would love to see Route 66, and it'd be interesting to see if that's a strategy that they feel comfortable with, or if it's just a curveball strategy. I know it is filtered into actual play because, I mean, I run Presidente on Route 66 now. I have no shame in it. I get to be the president on Route 66, and I've also gone against that composition a lot on Route 66 now.
Well, note that we do have the map draft beginning here, and Cloud9 taking out Dorado immediately, and LG taking out Nambani and Route 66. So LG looking like they are going to be angling more for King of the Hill and Capture Point maps here, taking out 2 payload maps immediately. That being said, they do take down Ilios, but looking at here, we do have our map pool right away. It's Gibraltar, Hollywood, Kings Row, Nepal, and Lijiang. So 3 payload maps and 2 of our oldest King of the Hill maps.
Yeah, very cool map pool, in my opinion, too. We're going to get the control points out of there, too. They are not fan favorites, not team favorites for sure, but also that we didn't just see those banned off right away. Cloud9 bans out Dorado, which is LG, one of LG's very good maps, and then coming back on the bans, LG is on Numbani. Numbani is just really fallen out of favor. A lot of people just don't like the map anymore. And then, of course, taking out Route 66, so the El Presidente strat off the table, at least for this set. And it looks like we're going to be going to either Kings Row or Lijiang Tower first.
I really wish Cloud9 just bans out Kings Row here just to make us play Lijiang first.
Well, it wouldn't be an Overwatch tournament without beginning on Kings Row. Old tried and true, foggy London town, here we come. But this was the map that LG was able to take off Cloud9 in their last set.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. I predicted, it's like, okay, maybe we'll see Kings Row to begin with. That was not a very ambitious prediction. That's what we see, I feel like, in over 80% of our Overwatch drafts here now, so.
Well, you know, like when you start playing Overwatch for the first day of your stream every day, you know, maybe start off with some quick play, get in the groove of things, and that's where we see old comfortable Kings Row. Just let's get warmed up, let's go to it. And it warms up us casting, and it warms up the players too. So Kings Row will be our first map. No surprises there. It should be a very close set. Really want to just see if LG's new roster can look as good as they did last week, and I mean, who better to test it against than Cloud9?
Yeah, no, I mean, Cloud9, like I said, right now I feel like they're the benchmark in the scene, and this is a really, really good test for LG. If they come out and they beat Cloud9, I mean, the sky's the limit from them at that point. Then you have to, any preconceptions about where they stand, you have to throw away because they just beat Cloud9, who many people see at the top. If they have a close set against Cloud9, it still looks really good for LG because it means that they are very firmly in the top 4 discussions in terms of teams in the game.
Right.
If they get blown out by Cloud9, you know, even then, it doesn't necessarily look that bad. Really, so I feel like in this series, I feel like it's all upside for LG, regardless of how it goes down. Whereas Cloud9, you know, they could look a little bit bad if they end up losing just because they have been on such a streak of dominance recently.
Right. It does look, it feels like a little bit of house money. Now, of course, LG has high standards for themselves. They expect to win every game that they're in. These guys have a ton of confidence about it, and as they should. They've looked phenomenal. You know, even before last week, they were always in the discussion of top 3 North American teams for the most part. Last week, they really, you know, kind of put themselves back on the map, getting the roster kind of more solidified. Gods was an actual god on most of their games too. So this should be a good one.
Yeah, no, the addition of Gods and Pooks definitely paid really high dividends for the side of Luminosity. I mean, Gods in particular, he was doing great, and he freed up so much space for Enigma and Seagull to get things done. His contribution cannot be understated at all.
Right, that diversity that he was allowing the other members to go to really kind of shone through there too. And they're going to be fan favorites too if they do stick with what they're queued up to now, because everyone loves a good Hanzo strat. They had Hanzos at the start. It looks like they're coming off of it now. Maybe we'll see a quasi Hanzo strat. Love the Hanzos.
Yeah, might see some Hanzos in the beginning. Certainly, we still see it have IDD, QD, and now Maidong as well. So it would not be that surprising. Also, I'm getting some weird lag in game. Hopefully it goes away here.
Well, we're on a North American server, so that's good. Check that box off the list.
So, an interesting set coming out here from LG. Not only running the... Never mind. Milo going to Reinhardt.
Boost out Kai, who's going to be on the Symmetra. Symmetra, a staple on Kings Row defense, especially. Grego's going to run the defensive Widow. Adam will be on Mercy. Shore 4 will be running McCree. Reaver on Soldier 76, and Debit on Reinhardt.
Meanwhile, taking a look at the offense coming out from the side of Luminosity. We're going to have Seagull on the Hanzo, Enigma on Zarya, Gods on McCree, Esper on Mercy, Milo on Diva, and Pooks on Lucio. So, an interesting set coming out here from LG. Not only running the... Never mind. Milo going to Reinhardt. But Seagull staying the course on Hanzo, and this is interesting. Well, oftentimes we'll see teams run an offensive Widowmaker here, but Hanzo might actually answer some of the problems that you have with offensive Widow attempts. But that being said, Seagull going to the Pharah after all.
The D.Va would not have surprised me at all from LG. It has been a hero that they've liked more than any other team since the beginning of LG, since the beginning of Not Enigma, really.
All right, so Seagull going back, going to McCree in the end, so a bit of hero switching coming out from Seagull here. LG adapting their offense to what they see from the defense could pay off. I mean, getting a good offensive run early on without being the defense ultimates is one of the more sure ways of taking point A, so we'll see if this strategic change pays off in favor of LG. That being said, both teams trading off shots, and no one really going in too deep just yet, but here we go, speed boost is out, LG moving in, Seagull taking the path through the building. They're all taking the path through the building. Interesting position coming out here from LG, but so far it's working out and they're all still alive.
The double McCree's been very strong in the meta, but Devitt is doing a really smart thing here. He has had his shield down most of the time. He's not keeping it up just to take free damage and get cracked off, so now they still have their shield available on their Reinhardt. Really just intelligent play out of Devitt, knowing what he's up against.
Look at this, LG gang really deep inside here, chasing down Grego. Down goes Grego. That's gonna be first blood of the game, and this is a very interesting offense coming out from LG. They're really taking the long route here, but starting to pay off. They get onto point as a team. Still 65 in their favor. Down goes Kai, 6v4. Reverb with the first pick for Cloud9 is going to take out Gods, and this is just unique. I don't think we've ever seen an opening setup like this.
No, I mean, their kind of positions have been swapped too, and that's going to mean that Teleporter goes down in the back lines as they're in great position to go deal with it. Now, the offense did use a Resurrection, while defense still has theirs available. Defense also has Earthshatter to work with here.
Yeah, taking a look here, Reaver about to pull out the tech visor here any moment now, hanging on for the rest of his team. So Cloud9, even though they've been under pressure from LG, they're able to hold on. They haven't given up anything on this point just yet. And though I have to give LG props for their strategy here, so far it hasn't quite paid the dividends that they might have been looking for.
Yeah, the res.
But as I say that, Gods comes in with the double Deadeye, able to really make some inroads in on the C9 defense. Down goes Surefour. Grego, though, striking right back on the Widowmaker, over the top, getting some shots in, and C9 not giving this up just yet.
Yeah, a very LG resurrection there as they brought only one hero up. It was Seagull. It was really smart, though, because he was in the back line, so when he got resurrected up, they had to deal with him, drawing their attention off. That opened things up for Gods to get a couple kills, and it looked good for them, but 3 kills back from the defense, and now a complete reset here. They're going to have Resurrection and Teleporter back up again for the defense, and they're holding very strong right now.
Yeah, I mean, C9's defense holding strong against a very, very varied offense coming out from the side of LG. That being said, LG not wasting any time this time. They get right in there. Seagull and Gods with the double kill. Groundton surges on top, but there will be a resurrection. That's going to bring up the fallen C9 heroes. Grego in the back looking for pickoffs. Reaver able to take out Gods. Kai and the Pooks, and C9 might be holding this. Down goes Enigma as Grego gets a double kill. And C9 definitely making this happen. I mean, they're bending, but they're not breaking.
Yeah, Attack Visor comes up for Reaver. He's able to take down one, but runs into an angry Seagull who's in the back lines here. They're trying to get a snipe on him back in this house. They do finally take him down. Adam does. Not often do you see a Mercy on that side of the kill feed, but good for Adam.
Yeah, no, they just swarmed in on Seagull there. Seagull, the last one remaining, had the fight 1v3. Wasn't going to work out in his favor, but man, this has just been interesting, Kings Row. But the thing that really matters here in the end is that Cloud9 is holding, and they only have to hold for a minute 20 longer to have a successful point A defense. So despite sort of the interesting tricks coming out from LG, they have not paid off here thus far. Seagull moving in, looking for the pickoff, almost gets it, but Grego takes out Enigma in the back. They're going to be down to Zarya for this push, and down. Oh, what a helix rocket.
Well, here comes the res, though. They do have double High Noon up and available. They're going to try to do is crack Devitt's shield, but again, he's been so smart with it, not taking unnecessary damage on that shield. So here comes the High Noons.
A double High Noon coming out from LG, really pushing things back. Seagull able to take out Surefour, and LG now with a little bit more momentum than they've had all game. Seagull and Gods picking up a kill each. They're on top of the point, they're pushing things out. Seagull able to take out Kai. The resurrection, though, does come out from C9, and we're going to see if it's enough. Reaver takes out Esper, and Grego still in the back, working the Widowmaker as Reaver gets a quad kill. Reaver going absolutely insane on the Tac Visor, and that could spell the end for LG here on Kings Row.
Yeah, with the prevalence of offense lately, and it feels like we've seen almost every map be completed in recent days, the teams that can really lock down this defense are the teams that stand out. It harkens back to old IDDQD if you're a fan of the EU region, but now this Cloud9 defense kind of reminds me of that. Teams are going to be able to only be dominant on defense. It's just how strong offense is. Last push coming in from LG.
Yep, this is the last chance for LG here to make something happen as they get 3 quick kills. God, Seagull, Enigma going off. Seagull and the Genji picking up a double kill here thus far. And this might be exactly what LG needs. The switch up very much in their favor as they pick up a team kill. Very, very clean. Nothing too flashy, just getting every kill they needed to get.
Yeah, about as late as they could have got that point, but they do finally get it. They're going to push forward with Esper damage boosting Seagull. He's going to try to hit these long distance damage shurikens, maybe charge up his ultimate. The late switch on the Genji really helped them out there, was able to shut down a High Noon that looked like the last saving grace for a defensive team. Now they've got the point. We'll see where they decide to try to engage here.
Yeah, Cloud9 though can at least feel confident that they did buy a lot of time, and really they only have to stop LG maybe 2 to 3 times here in the Streets phase, but that can be more easily said than done. We've seen teams in the Streets phase really get clobbered by the offense, not really holding long at all, so we'll see where C9 falls into here.
Yeah, a few changes up for the defense though. They are running double tank now with Kai going on to Winston.
Enigma able to take out Devitt, not before Devitt did quite a bit of damage on his own, but still 65 in favor of LG. Seagull having the run from Winston at 8 HP will escape with his life, at least for a moment, as Grego takes him out some Lucio spam. Still though, LG making good progress here through the Streets phase. Payload is moving forward. C9 though starting to collapse in from both sides. Devitt with the charge going to take out Esper, as C9 now looking a little more dominant, but 4 kills for LG, turning it right back around off the Earth Shatter of Milo, really doing a whole bunch of work. The kill feed going all in favor of LG, and another team wipe, and they're going to get through the Streets phase and buy themselves even more time.
Yeah, relatively unscathed. Now, Kai came back up on Winston, which is a little confusing to me. Maybe you can shed some light on it. He was going to jump off Symmetra, that's for sure, because once first point is lost, you don't need that sim, but I'm not sure that it's the best choice to go into Winston against the composition they're running. Winston's not all that grand against McCree.
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I mean, I think for Winston, it's certainly a character that C9 is very comfortable running regardless of the situation. Right. Maybe they thought it would just give them more defensive initiation when they wanted to go in, but either way, it didn't quite work out the way they wanted. And I'm gonna note here, LG with a huge ultimate advantage. They have 4 ultimates to their side, including Dragon Blade from Seagull. Both Deadeyes are up for Enigma and Gods, and they can really go off here. C9 has to be careful. Here comes Seagull coming in off the Dragon Blade, looking for what he can get. Getting into the back, slicing, dicing, and Gods with the backup gets the double kill. They were worried about Seagull in the back, but were not paying too much attention to the Deadeyes, and as a result, LG with a huge amount of kills, and they're pushing forward with a great deal of momentum.
Yeah, LG's been playing the distraction game all game. They're sending Seagull very deep in, he doesn't have to get kills, doesn't have to get a ton of work done, but the distraction has really opened things up for the rest of the team.
Yeah, McCree's definitely doing work in the back off that distraction. That being said, C9 able to push us back. It was a great team wipe in favor of LG. They got a lot of card progress, but the respawn's coming in from C9, and they're going to make LG have to do it at least one more time.
Yeah, I was going to say they forced out the Resurrection, but with how fast Resurrection charges, it doesn't even matter. Adam's got that Resurrection available back up now, and now they take the ultimate advantage by a slight margin. Reaver's Barrage is going to be critical here.
Yep, Reaver right now in the back looking for his opportunity. Has to be really wary of Seagull. Seagull coming in over the top. Earth Shatter comes down for the offense. Enigma takes out Share 4. Down goes Devitt. 2 kills here for LG. And is Reaver going to get the heroics he needs? No, he only gets 1 kill off that barrage. Enigma with a double kill. And this is looking very, very good right now for the side of LG as they clean up C9 yet again. 1:43 remaining on the clock, but they might not need that time next.
Yeah, I mean, it's been all about adding Gods to this team as well, because, I mean, Enigma is going off right now, but it's the fact that Enigma can stay on that McCree. They can still run double McCree, even though Seagull is on a 3rd damage class in the Genji. Composition looks very strong, and how close they were to getting shut out from the first point after that looked like a completely different team. Very comfortable on the payload itself. Decent time, but a very beatable time set by LG.
Here's a quad kill coming up from Reaver to hold on defense. It was absolutely beautiful, just positioning-wise. Obviously, aim-wise, it's a sort of doing the thing for him, but it was good positioning and patience that got really, really rewarded for Reaver.
Yeah, so 8:34 it's a pretty slow time, to be honest. We've seen a lot of teams kind of burning through King's Row lately. 5 minutes has been somewhat of a standard lately, even though that used to be considered a fast time. But the first row defense really stalled them out for a great deal. Very beatable time. They're going to have to really show up on defense, but that's where matches are won and lost in competitive Overwatch, in my opinion. Every team is very good on offense for the most part, but teams really separate themselves to that upper echelon by being able to play very good defense. We'll see what LG has in store for us.
Yeah, and I'll note Cloud9 actually was very close to not even having to go into the 2nd and 3rd defense phases on King's Row. They almost held on point A, but I mean, that was just an interesting point A attack in general coming out from LG, because you look at it, they were very patient. They went in and came very close to getting at points, just sort of Cloud9 was able to bend and hold it out. And I really think in terms of further analysis, that'd be a great fight to go back and just sort of go, okay, what actually happened in point A?
Right. I mean, the one thing that I really liked was just how Debit was playing as Reinhardt. If you're looking for tips and tricks on how to improve your Reinhardt there, not taking unnecessary damage on your shield is one of them. And with the double McCree able to crack that shield so quickly, then opening up your team for a Deadeye with that shield down, just really smart, conservative shield play on Debit's Reinhardt.
So taking a look at the defense here coming out from the side of LG. We're going to have Milo on the Reinhardt, Seagull on the Genji, Esper on Mercy, Enigma and Gods on a pair of McCrees, and Pooks on the Lucio.
Yeah, double McCree, very strong, very much in the North American meta, and why wouldn't he be? He's a cowboy, good old Jesse McCree. Offensively, though, Short4 is going to be on McCree. Kai for the moment, is on Hanzo. Reaver is on Widowmaker. Adam will be on Mercy. Debit on that Reinhardt, and Grego on Lucio. So I think we'll probably see some switches here shortly, either Kai or Reaver. I imagine Reaver actually will play this offensive Widow. Kai might flex out into maybe a Zarya, or just open with Hanzo. We'll see.
Honestly, I think he could open with Hanzo. We've seen Kai open with Hanzo in the past. That being said, I think he might just be Hanzo for the very beginning, shoot an arrow and switch. We'll see, but nope, not even doing that. Switching to Zarya, so.
Yep.
No Hanzo heroics coming out from Kai, but Reaver looking to stay on that Widowmaker. We'll see if he's able to get those all-important early picks.
Yeah, offensively, that Widow is going to at least put the defense in a weird position. Now, they were expecting the Hanzo strat. They're all huddled behind the shield. They took a huge fire strike early on.
Yeah, Fire Strike comes in, and the biggest effect from that, more than anything else, is that charges up the ultimate of the Reinhardt, and that being said, people are going in immediately here. A huge fight happening in the hotel. Reaver not even able to get any picks here because everything is happening indoors. Absolutely crazy opening to the game. Starting this out, meanwhile, taking a look, Milo, one of the last defenders out in the streets, is going to get gunned down as Kai on a triple kill here thus far.
Yeah, a little house party action there, and now defense did not get a teleporter up, so they're going to be struggling to get back in here. Seagull tries to come over the top, taken out quickly by Short4.
And take a look at this, Reaver moving forward, trying to keep C9's momentum, and C9 setting a pretty good time here thus far here on King's Row.
Yeah, a completely different offensive first point there than we saw out of LG. Very quick. However, they could hold on the streets here. The teams can get bogged down in the streets. It looks like they're going to actually post up towards the edge of it, but LG is a team that is known to initiate fights on defense, which could be coming up soon. They might just be trying to get some pokes for their ultimates, though.
Yeah, Reaver right now taking the flank as Widow. This is risky, but it can have high reward. He's moving to the right here, going to look for that early pick, looking for a support if he can get it. Came really close to getting Lucio and Mercy, even though he didn't realize it. Here he is, coming in from the back. Gets one shot onto Mercy, not able to take her out. Still on the flank. Meanwhile, the defensive LG absolutely pushing forward, looking for what they can get. Milo takes out Debit, so still a 65 in favor of LG. Seagull gets into the back, stops the shenanigans coming up from Reaver, and picks up the double kill.
Yeah, Seagull's Farah going absolutely ham right now. They're pushed all the way back, and that is the initiation that LG likes to do on defense. They wait for their moment and they strike. The best teams in Overwatch don't just sit back and wait for the fights brought to them. If they feel they have a good opening on either offense or defense, they will initiate team fights.
And take a look at Seagull here. Seagull really close to getting a barrage. Only needs to land a few more rockets, and this is a good defensive position coming out from LG. They can go in at any point. And right now, Seagull just content to stay back and poke, and it's working out for them thus far.
Yeah, getting some good poke in. They also have the defensive sound barrier comes down. They're going to initiate again.
Yeah, they're coming in off that defensive sound barrier. In comes Seagull, getting right into the back line. Has Adam in his sights. Adam, though, able to get away, at least for now. Both sides down a player. Seagull still deep in. Going to get taken out by Short4. Short4 now turning back the other way. Offensive sound barrier in effect, and Cloud9 might be turning this in their favor.
Yeah, they did burn all their ults, so they have to win this fight to get some value out of it. Esper kind of in a weird spot there, is able to jump away for the moment. He gets cleaned up as well as Enigma. This card actually has a free run to second point now. They're pushing very far forward on offense.
Wow, beautiful shots coming out from Short4. Able to pick out Pooks from across the map. Normally, you don't really associate McCree with huge long-range damage, but if you get headshots, it's still a 70 damage a shot from that range, and Short4 able to get the Lucio pick.
Yeah, I mean, he is designed to be able to do long-distance damage. You just don't see it all that often out of him, but Short4's hit his primary fires here a couple times early, able to take out, Seagull earlier, too, so he's on for McCree right now.
Both teams now trying up poke. In comes a Deadeye from Sure4. Seagull in some trouble, able to get away from that Deadeye. And now this might work out well for LG. They don't suffer anything from that Deadeye. Cloud9 moving forward, but Gods takes out Devin. And meanwhile, take a look at Seagull. Seagull is sitting here. I don't think they realize he's here. He has a barrage at the ready, going for Reaver first. Will Reaver go down? No, there's counter barrages there. Both Pharaohs going to go down from that as Debit picks up 3 kills. So this is still going to work out in C9's favor.
Just a pile of skulls on the ground. 5 dead after that skirmish, but 4 alive on the cart, pushing very strong right now. They have a ton of time left, a little over 5 minutes here to push this cart all the way to completion to win the first map.
Yeah, time definitely on C9's side here. They're moving forward. Debit could be letting loose with an Earth Shatter, and there it is! He gets a triple Earth Shatter! Sure4 with the follow-up, gets the double kill, and C9, that being said, Seagull and Gods fighting right back, 4v4. Not a bad reaction from LG, given how that started. Looking at Reaver, though. Reaver able to take out Seagull, looking for more, takes out Gods. Will he get the Mercy? Esper in trouble. Esper having to go back into that cubbyhole here, but now Pook's under assault. D.Va is coming out for the LG side. We'll see if they're able to turn this more in their favor, but Reaver going absolutely off, gets both supports, and C9 might be on their final push.
Yeah, decent play by Esper. Even though he died there, he was able to stay alive long enough to get the resurrection up, giving them a fighting chance here towards the end.
And look at this, LG struggling to hold on here. They're able to delay, but they're going to need to delay for another 4 minutes, so they really just need to somehow turn this in their favor. I'm not sure if it's possible. Pook's one of the only ones remaining on the cart. The cart is moving forward, and C9 going to take map number 1 with 3 minutes, 45 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so they set a pretty good time there, almost a standard time, so I would go back to the point that I think they wanted on defense there. That first point defense was exceptional. You don't see teams hold as strong as that on defense very often, and you know, giving themselves that cushion on offense is really reassuring. Here's that huge barrage.
I will say this though, at least from the LG side, is that LG went through the second and third parts of the map just as quick as C9 did. The only real difference was point A, so if LG's point A offense had gone a little bit differently, this could have been an incredibly close game. It's really only the fact that C9 was able to hold out for so long in point A that the time difference was so stark.
Yeah, 4:48 is kind of one of the standard times. We've seen people just blazing through King's Row lately. We've seen sub 4-minute times on this map before, but it has been lately just across the board in all of competitive, both regions as well. About 5 minutes is a standard King's Row time, so just being able to stall out anywhere, especially that first point, really is you know, how you win this map nowadays. It is LG's map choice going into our second map in our best of 5 for our Overkill League. First set of the night, we have 3 more best of 5s with you know, planned for you for the rest of the night, and it looks like we're going to Nepal.
Yeah, I was gonna say LG didn't need any time to think that over. They want Branson Nepal, and I gotta say LG might be very scared in Nepal with the addition of Gods. I mean, of course, Enigma and Seagull both really, really good players as a 1-2 DPS combo, but you add in Gods there, and that's a triple threat coming out from LG, and they might be an entirely different team now in King of the Hill maps.
Yeah, they looked great on King's Row. You mentioned that street phase and how fast they were able to blaze through it. It was because they were running triple DPS. They had double McCree and a Genji, and you know what's pretty good on Nepal? Double McCree and Genji.
Del McCree and Genji, I mean, the McCrees, of course, are sort of the muscle behind it. It's difficult to get in close on McCree. He has long-range power, and of course, the CC is absolutely Reinhardt breaking. And that being said, we are going right into Nepal, neither team needing a break. And here we go.
No, big shout outs to our admins. I was even mentioning to teams, I'm like, don't be late, don't mess around. Our admins are no nonsense kind of guys. So we get in lobbies, we get in games quick. Shout outs to the people behind the scenes making everything work very well. So no McCrees so far, and if you're a fan of Tracer, you should probably like King of the Hill, especially in the North American meta. We see a ton of Tracers on King of the Hill in both regions, but North America tends to like to double up heroes a lot, so we might see a lot of double Tracer here on Nepal.
Yeah, King of the Hill in particular is very, very well known for double hero comps. We do see it in Payload, of course, but King of the Hill is almost defined by it. I mean, we see 2-2-2 comps almost as a standard, and that's what we're almost seeing here. Cloud9, though, opting with Winston, Reinhardt, Hanzo. Hang on, they're not even done. We're going to wait for them to finish up, but I do think the Luminosity roster, much more final here. They're going to be running 2 Tracers, Enigma and Gods on those Tracers, Seagull and Milo on the 76s, and Esper and Pooks on the double Lucio. So a firm 2-2-2 coming out from the side of LG.
A hit scan heavy composition adding in the double Lucios. Lucio, of course, a staple on King of the Hill maps. He will be run on the Cloud9 side as well by Grego and Adam. They were also running 2 Winstons and 2 Tracers of their own.
And not wasting any time, LG taking the high ground and starting to shoot down from it. Pretty good poke coming out from Seagull here. Both teams, though, still relatively full HP. And we'll see what team gets the all-important first pick. Winston leaping right in. Kai not wasting any time. And this double Winston comp has done a lot of work for C9. They get the first kill. Debit on the gods. Kai leaping right in, is able to back out. Debit takes out Enigma, so both Tracers down to Winston. And C9 now in a great position to take first control of point A.
Yeah, really cool Winston work there, too. They they jumped in early, and it looked like a mistake, but what that did, he dropped his shield, really made them empty clips into it, and when those reload animations were coming off, that's when they sent the second Winston over the top. In response to this double Winston, Enigma's going to come up on Reaper.
Yeah, Reaper, of course, one of the heroes that many people see as a big counter to Winston, but I'll tell you what, when there's double Winstons, it's actually kind of difficult for Reapers, just because as good as his damage is against Winston, you have to get through the shields first, and 2 shields, getting through that is easier said than done at times.
It would not surprise me to see them pepper in a second Reaper in later on if they struggle with this double Winston composition.
Well, taking a look, Surefour with the Pulse Bomb, does not connect, but still pushes people back a little bit. Meanwhile, look at Reaver. Reaver coming in from the other side, able to take out Pooks. Kai on the Milo, 6v4 now in favor of C9. And C9, I mean, they're holding strong in the point, in fact, even pushing LG back a bit, so, you know, we've seen other teams try and run the double Winston comp on King of the Hill to varied success, but Cloud9 still very comfortable on it and probably running it better than any other team right now.
Yeah, double Winston's really good against the double Soldier that they're running too. Those shields are great at just eating up those bullets.
Hey, look here, C9 being really aggressive, pushing deep into LG's territory, gets 2 kills for their trouble. Enigma in trouble as Reaper going to go down, getting juggled by the Winston. Reaver going in even deeper, and Luminosity getting pushed all the way back to their spawn.
Yeah, brutal. I mean, the Winston ultimate does not do a ton of damage, but it is Chaos Incarnate, just knocking everyone around, and then you have cleanup in Surefour and Reaver, and the Tracer's able to take down those targets that get knocked about.
That guy taking out gods, 2 kills extra for C9. Enigma, though, able to strike right back. He does have a Death Blossom up, but he's not going to get used it. Reaver taking him down. A little bit more life in LG here on this push. They are able to pick off a few people, but still not really close to taking back control of point A, and they don't have much time here, Hex. They have 10% left. They have to force overtime right here and right now.
Yeah, they can't have a push like that just happen where they got kind of split up. Milo died very early in that fight. Here comes the big push with Tom Barrier engagement.
Tom Barrier is out, LG on top of the point. They have to stay here. They can't get pushed out for any reason. Milo takes out Grego, but Kai right back in as Winston. Seagull on the brink is going to get taken out. Enigma on the point, has Death Blossom at the ready. Will he drop it? I think he has to drop it soon. He's so low in HP, though. There he comes with the Death Blossom. He's taken out immediately, and this still might be C9's point. LG doing their best to sort of flip it in their favor, but it is an uphill road for them right now.
Well, God's doing his best impersonation of a divine entity himself, but he is taken out eventually. Milo and Seagull, though, get back on the point. Gods was able to buy time for them.
Yeah, the reinforcements for LG coming in strong. The soldiers come in, and they're able to get control of the point and start things in their favor. That being said, C9 coming right back in with the vengeance. Moving forward, 1 Winston Primal Rage is out. Here comes C9. C9 actually waiting a little bit before going in here, laying the... Did you see what the Winston did?
Yeah, that was a cool
Either
animation.
way, he's coming in. Debit able to take out Milo. A quick 3 kills for C9. Gods, though, striking right back, takes out Kai. And the Tracers here for LG still alive and well, and they're going to need to do some heroics here, but no, Surefour taking down Gods. C9 able to retake the point, and now, is anyone still alive for LG? The force overtime. No, Enigma is still. He's still here. Enigma, 1 man against the world, buying time for his team to get back here. Has he bought enough time, though? He's still alive. Enigma with the 1-man heroics, and here comes the rest of LG. LG still making this a game. Well played to Enigma, they're keeping that going, but C9, a quick 3 kills on their side, and now, will Gods be able to keep delaying this? We're gonna find out as the kill feed fills up in C9's favor.
Yeah, really hard to just kind of flip the point back. I didn't even see Enigma sneaking in there. I thought they were all a little fur away. I was able to stall it out, but for naught as Cloud9 takes that first stage of Nepal.
Yeah, LG definitely had their moments in that game, but C9 really... I really think the double Winston strategy is just incredible on King of the Hill because in almost all the games of Witness, C9 is almost always able to get first control with the double Winston strategy. It's really hard to fight them off and keep control of the point just because of, you know, the nature of Winston's cleaving attack. You have 2 Winstons on the point, you can't really stand there, you'll probably die, but if you don't stand there, they get control of the point first, and who knows when you're gonna get it back.
Yeah, and when he has got Primal Rage too, he just becomes a bullet sponge with 1,000 HP and all the chaos he causes as well, so they're gonna stick with that composition, while Luminosity is gonna actually bring Esper in as a Symmetra to give everyone shields instead of double Lucio.
I mean, it's interesting. I think the Symmetra, of course, was very standard before the nerf. We'll see if it pays off here. Seagull with first kill of the game on the Surefour. Good stuff coming up from Seagull. The Soldiers 76s of LG doing some work here. And now we'll see if it's enough to take control of the point.
Yeah, Milo, both of the Winstons are down. Milo actually picks up a couple kills himself, and very strong opening here from Luminosity Gaming.
Yeah, they're able to deal with the double Winston and get control of the point first. A very, very difficult feat, especially with what we've seen C9 do in the past. But LG now well positioned, both soldiers in the back, and now C9 might have their work cut out for them.
Yeah, a hard point to get back, but C9 is definitely a team that does not like to trickle in. You see them grouping up right now. They have everyone getting ready and healthy here. As Surefour took a little damage, here comes the initiation.
They're moving in. In comes one pulse bomb. Does not connect. Surefour, though, building a pulse bomb of his own. Throws it out. Will it connect? Takes out Pooks. And C9 now swarming on top of the point. Godzo able to take out Adam. Reaver and Surefour with a kill each. This is 5v4 in favor of C9. Down goes Enigma. Surefour eliminating his targets with extreme precision here. We'll get Gods as well. Surefour assassinating both Tracers. Teleporter is up. A few reinforcements come off of that, but this is looking like it's going to be C9's point.
Yeah, there were 2 Lucio deaths on either side to initiate that fight. However, with Cloud9 running 2 Lucios, they still had heals available to them, whereas the Symmetra only provides those shields. Teleporter did go down, but I think it also got taken out pretty early on, too. It'll be interesting to see. Yes, they do switch back to the double Lucio composition.
Double Lucio comp is back out, and we have not 1 but 2 tac visors available here for the side of LG. Milo, though, in trouble, going to get taken out immediately by Surefour before tac visor even comes out. Seagull having to retreat, helping the deal with this huge incursion coming out from C9. And that's the thing with C9 in this map thus far. They've been very, very aggressive in defending the middle. They don't just stay in the middle, they push you into your own territory. And it buys them a whole lot of time.
Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to just wait on the point, and especially towards later percentages in this map, you'll see teams just kind of defend the stairs with their might. They don't want to be able to push into overtime as well. So a couple pulse bombs up. We'll see what happens here in this big fight.
I've got you in my sight.
We see the sound barriers coming down. Seagull with the tac visor looking for some kills. Enigma able to take out Kai Kai. 5v5 right now on the point. Enigma going absolutely ham. Pulse bomb connects, gets a triple kill, taking out not 1 but both Lucios. Enigma making the point his. Meanwhile, Seagull on the flank with suppressing fire, making Winston have to run for his life. And LG gonna come back here and retake control of point B.
Yeah, a nice flip by them. They do also have a sound barrier about to come up, but that pulse bomb by Seagull early on just absolutely crushed. Or was it Enigma? Enigma early on took out both Lucios. Just a crazy good pulse bomb, taking out all the healing for the opposing team, and more so, taking out the point presence. Lucios are a pain to deal with on the point.
With that being said, C9's Winston's getting right back on top of the point. The defensive sound barrier is out for LG. We'll see if they can hold it. God's almost building up a pulse bomb. Gonna be able to throw that on a Winston any moment now. Down goes the pulse bomb, does not connect. And C9 now starting to get decent position on the point. Esper, though, takes out Reaver. Reaver's down. We do see a Primal Rage come out, and this is absolute pandemonium right now. Winston's, though, buying so much space as Enigma's bomb takes out Grego. The Tracers of LG starting to get some real work done here, Hex.
Yeah, I mean, it's these Winstons, though. They're able to knock off the point, so they want to be contesting. They have the bodies up to contest, but with the positional abilities of Winston, able to knock them off and flip that back over. That's why Winston is so strong on King of the Hill. And now, even as they have to come back and push off this point, I would not be surprised to see Winston just take over those positions again. However, both Primal Rages are down now, which is why they're pushing so far forward to prevent them from getting in.
Yeah, they have to get in right now, though. C9 about to finish out the map. Here comes the pulse bomb coming up from Gods, negated by the defensive sound barrier. Was a good stick. Kai Kai taking out Pooks. And again, LG in the position. They cannot back down for any reason. They need to move forward. They need to keep this in overtime. They're swarming onto a point. Debit with a double kill for C9, however. And the Winston's absolutely spacing out the offense of LG. And LG now in the danger zone. Enigma with the double kill on Tracer. The last hope. It needs to stay alive, but no, he's taken out. Will Pooks be able to get in time to force overtime? No! Pooks is taken out. Overtime ends, and C9 going to go up a quick 2-0 over LG.
Despite Enigma's Tracer heroics with those pulse bombs, simply not enough to deal with these double Winstons, and really it just forces them into a composition they don't necessarily want to run. We saw them coming at the Reaper, but double Winston seems like the superior composition in this game mode at the very least, and no answers for it from LG.
Yeah, and I mean, I just want to give credit to C9 there, is that it's not necessarily just a composition. We've seen other teams like the, now defunct Envious try and run double Winston and not have anywhere near the results. There's something to be said for how C9 positions and how they go in together that makes their double Winston just more effective than other teams' double Winstons. And honestly, I mean, it wasn't a bad comp coming out from LG. They definitely had their moments, but I think the really, the strength of the double Winston comp was on display when you had both of them use Primal Rage to retake it, near the end of that last round, where it was absolute craziness. Both Winstons were raging on the point, and it was very difficult for LG to do anything against that.
Right, in such a positional game mode, I mean, he is the best hero, especially with the ultimate primal rage, knocking everyone around. I mean, when you're all
Mm.
forced to fight in one area and getting the team off of the area, not necessarily even killing them, and we know primal rage doesn't do a ton of damage, but the positional advantage gained by Winston's really on display there from Cloud9. Yeah, I think they have their King of the Hill composition pretty much figured out and practiced very well.
Yep, well, it'll be up to LG to decide a third map here. We'll see what they decide to go for. Note that another King of the Hill map in Lijiang Tower is available in the pool. And now, from LG's perspective, they might have a map preference for where they want to go for the next map, but realistically, they have to win on every single remaining map if they want to win the set.
Yeah, it's either going to be Lijiang Tower, Gibraltar, or Hollywood. Hollywood is a map that I like. I think LG is pretty good on, but Cloud9 has beaten them on Hollywood recently. Gibraltar is also a map that LG, prior to the roster changes, had a couple, not ideal showings on in our GosuGamer weekly tournaments. So not really the best of choices left for them. I think they're going to Lijiang.
Yeah, they're going to Lijiang, and now the question will be, do they stick with the King of the Hill strategies that they were using just before, or do they try and beat C9 at their own game? I feel like the winning move for LG here is still to sort of stick with what they've practiced, because we've seen other teams go up against C9 and go, okay, we're going to match Winston for Winston, and it hasn't really worked out, so maybe, this is just a better map towards LG's talents, and they'll be able to bring it out here on Lijiang, where they were not able to do so on Nepal.
Yeah, I mean, Lijiang is a bit different than Nepal. I feel that Winston might not be as strong here just based on where the points are for control, especially on one of the stages where the control point is very small, so maybe his positional ability is not as grand, but also you can bubble up the whole point too. It'll be interesting to see what we see come out. Now, my only real strong guess is that we will see some Tracers. Tracer's pretty good on
Tracers are a guarantee. We might see some Widow on Stage 2 Lijiang as well. Oftentimes teams will bust it out there, though it's not a guarantee. Widow's sort of one of those things where every now and then it'll come out in King of the Hill. It's more prevalent on, Stage 2, well, the former Stage 2, now it's a little bit randomized, but the former Stage 2 Nepal, the former Stage 2 Lijiang, sort of, where you see it more often now, but we'll just have to see. That being said, I don't know if you want to bring out the Widow against the double Winston, just because the shields, it's so difficult to shoot through those shields if both are down.
Well, also, the Winstons are just a great counter to Widow to initiate onto them. Now, we used to see a lot of Widow on stage, well, not a lot, but some Widow on stage 1, or former stage 1 of Lijiang, where you just kind of put it, because Lijiang, it's you really only fight on half of the map, and it's really where the point is. But you used to see a Widow just on the complete opposite end of the map with huge sight lines, and then teams would often just choose to ignore that Widow, sometimes at their own peril, but we saw that Too Easy used to run Widow on this point a lot, but fallen out of favor a little bit, so we'll probably see a little less Widow. I don't know. I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of switch ups from the compositions, really. I think they're going to bring what they're practiced on.
Enigma saying CP is excited. Look, I just had my caps lock on.
Caps is still screaming on the internet. Okay, you can't caps lock, man.
Yeah, you notice how anytime you have all caps, like most people, their immediate responses, sorry, caps, oops, caps, etc. It's sort of like, I've done something wrong. I said everything in caps.
It's yelling. It's bad etiquette.
Well, just might be.
So we are going into game 3 momentarily. Someone on the team needs a small break. They'll be right back. I was going to say short, then I said small, so it came out really weird. I'm sorry for that. Kind of having some mouth gymnastics right now. Of course, our next set will be Liquid Gaming, trying to redeem themselves in Overkill. They've yet to win a map in our league so far, but they are going against newcomers, taking over Envious's spot. Of course, RIP Envious. That will be Grouchy Desperados making their kind of debut in just overall competitive play, so it'll be fun to watch. But we do have to go through Lijiang first, and we're loading in right now.
Yep, this is going to be map 3 of our first set of the day, Luminosity versus Cloud9. For those who are wondering what the Overkill.gg league is, it is league play. We have group stages all throughout the week. Every day we're bringing you 4 sets of best out of 5, and we've had some really, really good games.
Yeah, it's been close. I mean, even the teams that are getting goose-egged so far in Liquid and then in our EU conference and Impulse 11, it just breaks my heart for those teams because they're playing them close. It's not like they're getting shut out. It's just one thing here or there has cost them every map. So looking for some redemption in both NA and EU are Liquid and Impulse 11.
And here we go, Hex. Taking a look here at the roster coming out from LG. We have Esper and Pooks on Lucios, Enigma and Gods on Tracers. And they are, in fact, going to try and beat C9 at their own game. Milo and Seagull on Winston.
They
So
can't beat him, join him.
And I mean, it could work out. I mean, it's clearly one of the best strategies on King of the Hill, but the only thing I'd wonder here is LG practiced enough to do this? Cloud9 have sort of been the masters of the strategy, and though it seems simple, a lot of other teams have difficulty really cloning it.
Yeah, we'll see what Cloud9 has a strategy maybe against this. Maybe they switch up their composition knowing what beats them and what gives them fits when they run this, as they are very practiced in this composition on their own.
Yep, so Winston's leaping in, Tracer's leaping in. This is absolute craziness. Lightning and Tracer bolts everywhere as Esper gets first kill of the game, is able to take out Reaver, and we'll see if LG can snowball this in the favor. Milo taking out Debit, Gods on the Kai. This is now a 5v3 in favor of LG, and LG, with the double Winstons of their own, really paying dividends here.
Yeah, able to take that point very early, just had positioning advantage, dropped their bubbles, and just were able to out-DM the opposing team. Enigma chases down another kill. And they don't really need to push forward or anything. They're just going to hang out a little bit. I think Cloud9 is going to try to poke, and then they're going to see another big engagement here.
And the important thing here for Luminosity, too, is that their Winstons are a little bit more charged up, not by much, but they did win that last fight. That being said, with 4 Winstons Primal Rage at the same time, who knows? But Surefour with a big double kill Pulse Bomb. Enigma striking back to the Pulse Bomb of the zone is able to help take out both C9 Winstons. And as a result, C9 lacking a lot of meat on this point right now.
Yeah, Gods with another couple kills takes down both Lucios, and this push is all but dead for Cloud9.
I'm gonna note here, though, they were able to bring out both Winston ults, so even though LG able to hold on to a point here, take a look here at the C9 side. Both Kai and Debit, Primal Rage at the ready, and C9 going to be very, very well positioned to retake point A for the first point in this match.
Yeah, they're going to have to rage onto the point and be very careful about their defensive positioning, too. Getting knocked off of Nepal Cliff or Legion Cliff is a very real possibility.
Sound barriers out for both teams. Of course, both teams have double Lucio, so another sound barrier comes down, a third sound barrier overall. Both Winston still have Primal Rage at the ready. Seagull able to get the double kill on Winston, and we'll see if C9 even decides to use the ult here, because it seems like this is not in their favor here thus far. That being said, both Primal Rages are out, but these Winstons might be fighting losing battle. They might have waited a little bit too long to pull that out, and they're in trouble as all of LG swarming around them, but Kai and Debit still hanging in there, at least for now. Debit, the last one on the point, might be falling in a moment. Pulse Bomb goes out. Surefour able to take out Pooks, but overall, LG with a pretty dominating performance here thus far.
I really thought those ults were going to come out from Cloud9 much earlier than they did, and then after losing 3 to 4 players, they did bust out the ults in the end, which I feel was a bit of a mistake. Now, I think you want to get value out of those ults, take a little damage before you pop them in, but I thought they were going to initiate with those ults. They did not work out well for them.
Pulse Bomb coming out from Gods does not quite connect. Esper, though, able to take out Kai. And this is looking good for LG. Now it's Cloud9 really in a whole lot of trouble. They have to keep this in overtime. Sound Bearer is out for C9. C9 rushing back in. They're not changing up comps at all. They're Tracer, Winstoning to the very end. Primal Rage is out, though, for LG. And the kill feed absolutely in LG's favor is now C9 just struggling to stay in the game.
Yeah, this is just a matter of time, really, unless a huge play comes off. Generally, a Pulse Bomb comes swinging around, but they don't have either Pulse Bomb up. They're just going to trickle in and hope and pray that something happens and breaks this for him, but right now it does not look good.
Surefour able to get in, gets a Pulse Bomb, blows up 2! That might be exactly what C9 needs. Oftentimes it's only really Pulse Bombs that can reverse a situation like this. We'll see if it's enough, though. Enigma able to strike right back, gets a double kill of his own, and I think the heroics from Surefour there might not be enough. We're gonna find out.
Well, it helps. It stalls them out. It puts them in a decent advantage, and now they have 2 on the point instead of 1, and 2 of those are Winstons. They are actually at the presence advantage on the point now.
Defensive sound barrier is out, and this is absolute craziness. C9 and LG still fighting on top of the point. Winston's cleaving everywhere for both teams. Shields everywhere for both teams. Surefour able to take out Milo, though, and Surefour slowly but surely starting to make his presence known here. Picks up a double kill and is still going. So Surefour might be putting the team on his back and putting C9 back into this.
Yeah, he's done so much damage. He has another Pulse Bomb out. Both Surefour and Reaver with Pulse Bombs up. There comes out from Reaver, misses everything, but now they have another ultimate for Debit up, too.
Yeah, and C9 might be making this happen. I think they have more control of the point here than LG does.
They do.
Down goes Seagull, and C9 might have brought this back in their favor, Hex.
Yeah, it's only because of that Pulse Bomb. Now, that's exactly what you're trying to do in this situation, especially with these compositions. You're going to trickle in, and hope that you get something that is game-changing. That Pulse Bomb took out 2, allowed them to get 2 on the point instead of just 1 at a time. Then they slowly brought that momentum back.
That being said, LG coming right back in. Double Winstons at the ready. Here we go again. It is pandemonium on top of the point. Lightning flying everywhere. Shields flying everywhere. Pooks able to take out Adam. Milo on to Grego. And this is now a 2-kill for Luminosity. This is going pretty well for them. Make it 3. Only 3 members of C9 remaining as LG looking firm again as they're on top of the point.
Yeah, both Primal Rages are still going off for Cloud9, but those will wilt, and as will the Winstons who power them. Looks like they turned it over again, and now we're in the same situation as before. They're just going to try to trickle onto the point.
There is a Tracer. The Tracer has to back up. Will they trigger overtime? I don't think they can. And LG going to hold on and take round 1, but what a crazy round. My goodness.
Yeah, Short4 putting the team on his back, giving them a chance there too, but that is generally how you see maps go. You know, when they're in overtime like that, you're wondering why are they trickling onto the point, have to keep overtime going, and you're waiting just for a miracle like you saw there. And as you see, it is possible to pull it back even by just trickling onto the point.
I feel like Pulse Bomb is the only way to really pull it back, though, because Pulse Bomb does have that
I'd agree.
Double kill potential, and you have to be running Tracers anyways to keep going onto the point. So it's really dependent on landing that good Pulse Bomb, but Short4 was able to do it. That being said, this is a new round. Everything is reset, and we'll see who wins the first fight here on round 2, Lijiang.
We need a cool name for this composition. I'm going to petition chat for it. You see what they're running. This is pretty standard now in North American King of the Hill meta. Come up with some clever names.
Yep, and both teams just going absolutely crazy here. C9, though, on the winning end, gets 3 kills to start this out. LG, they still have their Winstons up, but not much else. Down goes Milo. Seagull potentially going to bite the dust soon. He ends up falling off the edge just for the reset, but that is going to be C9 taking control of the point first.
Yeah, and it was Short4 again doing a ton of work. He already has his Pulse Bomb up, was able to get a couple kills there to really solidify that point, and now they're in a great position to bring this back.
Yep, Short4 now with the Pulse Bomb could delay LG by quite a bit if he's able to land the stick. Moving forward, has a Winston in his sights. In comes the stick, does land it. Down goes Seagull, takes a lot of damage from the Pulse Bomb. 3 kills here for C9. It looks like they're going to hold yet again.
Yep, 4 kills came out for them. They do have both of their Primal Rages up. Now, this is the point I was kind of talking about that maybe Winstons aren't as good on, you know, because it is a smaller point, but, you know, that actually somewhat works out in their favor sometimes, too. But positionally, the Primal Rages seem to be as super effective. But we see them jump in, actually. They want to take the fight over here instead.
Yeah, they jump in. Cloud9 with another quick 2 kills here. Gods with the Pulse Bomb wasn't quite able to get what he wants. Now in a duel to the death with Short4. Has to run away a bit. Most of his team is dead, and he's just going to go off the ledge for a reset.
Yeah, the screams are still fun to hear.
Yeah, the falling off the ledge screams are some of the best in the game. I mean, they actually make you feel like the character is screaming in terror. That being said, both Winstons from C9 leaping in again. They don't want to give LG any breathing room here. Enigma does have Pulse Bomb, could be throwing it out at any point, but no, he's going to get taken up by Reaver instead. And C9 being very, very aggressive on this map. And I feel like this particular stage of Lijiang, the Garden stage, is really, really rough to fall behind on just because of how aggro the defense can be in keeping you off that middle point.
Yeah, just really hard to even initiate in the position that they're in. This is what we see on this stage a lot, is when a team has an advantage, they push their advantage to right outside the enemy's gates.
Lucius Ambera coming in from the LG offense. They want to get in here. They want to get on the point. Enigma able to take out Grego, making some things happen, but Kai Devitt striking right back. It's now 4v4. Enigma with the 2 kills for LG. Looking for more if he can get them. Has Kai in his sights. And this is really back and forth with both teams. Kill feed going very red and blue all over, but Short4 coming in off the flank. Picks off 2 kills for C9, and that might be all they need to keep control here.
So going on the point.
Yeah, that's another 3 kills for C9. They're able to clean this up, make it 4, and now LG, if they want to stay in this map. We are going to be going here to round number 3. They're not able to keep the round going.
Yeah, we'll see what goes on here. I imagine more of the same compositionally, even though this stage feels a little bit different. It's a little enclosed indoors. You've got Stonehenge happening, you know, kind of in the middle here. Keep those names coming in chat, guys. Some of them are pretty much unusable at this point. Well, yeah.
I was going to say, I feel like chat will be giving us a lot of unusable names just because people...
Useful, yeah. There was one that I like, though. It's Jet Set... Jet Set King Kong Future, you know, for the
Jet Set King Kong Future.
Yeah, because you got, you know, you've got time travel, you've got King Kong, and you've got, you know, the rollerblading.
What we see from the LG side is that they're not running Jet Set King Kong Future, deciding that they want 276s instead of 2 Winstons, and we'll see if that extra DPS choice pays off for them here on the control center stage of Lijiang Tower. And the 76 is doing a lot of good poke here. They're definitely keeping Sure4 and Reaver in line. Sure4 and Reaver have to be very, very careful because not only do 76 on both sides have really good range poke, but they also have the Helix Rocket, which is great burst potential. That being said, Reaver able to get in, takes out Milo. Kai takes out Esper. 3 kills now for the side of C9. And C9 making things happen even with that extra 76 poke bearing down on them.
Yeah, really interesting to see them go with the double 76s. It looked pretty strong at first, just not necessarily able to sustain as long as they would have liked, and now control firmly in the corner of Cloud9.
At LG, it's going to be up to them to retake this here. They do not want to run the double Winston composition. Pulse Bomb goes off, does not get anything done just yet. Gods with the Pulse Bomb ready, could be throwing on Kai at any moment, but Kai able to rush down both Lucio's, Esper and Pooks going down to Winston's cleave, make it 4 kills for C9. The Winston's just being nothing short of oppressive, and God's needing to back out.
Yeah, and this is what you see on King of the Hill maps too. Once you do get those kills, you can kind of hang out wherever you want. The trickle in here from outside of the spawn is very difficult. They are going to actually hold back onto the point though, not quite as spawn campy as the last stage.
Yeah, no, you can't hold that far forward on this map when compared to other stages of Lijiang. That being said, offensive sound barrier is out for C9. C9 pushing this really deep in, and LG getting pushed back by these Winston. Seagull able to take out Am at the very least. Take a look at Gods. Gods trying to get anything done here, but C9 picking up a quick 3 kills. Primal Rages are out, and again, the Primal Rage just pushing back LG. Winston getting a lot done here on King of the Hill. Take a look at Enigma now. Enigma moving in, throws the Pulse Bomb, does not connect. Sound Barrier is out for LG. LG needs to make something happen now. They are running out of time. Reaver, though, able to take out Esper. Takes out Milo as well. 2 kills here for C9. Enigma in the back trying to make things happen. Reaver on a triple kill as Sure4 takes out Enigma, and C9 looking absolutely unstoppable right now in this 3rd stage of Lijiang.
Yeah, what do you do against this? I mean, I see them running a Reaper, now they're running double Reaper. I guess that, in theory, is the correct answer. Maybe coming out a little too late, though. I think Reaper is overall pretty good on this map, but kind of hesitant to transition into it, and they still are running a 76 as well. No tanks now.
Well, only 98% is up right now. This is really the last gasp for LG on this point. And Cloud9 picking up 2 kills right away. And now LG, they're in the period where they just have to keep rushing on the point. They have to keep this in overtime. Pooks under assault from a Lucio and a Winston. Going to go down here momentarily. That's 4 kills for C9. And now, will this lone Lucio be able to get overtime going again? No, he will not. As C9 going to take Lijiang Tower. And that is going to complete the set 3-0. In favor of C9, and LG not finding a whole lot of luck here on King of the Hill.
Yeah, well, I mean, Cloud9 is as good as everyone thinks they were, and what an appropriate intro there, as a lot of our names are based on the eyewear of this composition. They're all wearing glasses or goggles. So 24 eyes is one that I saw. Pretty good.
24 eyes. Wow. Yeah, I mean, honestly, LG had their best success when they were parroting the C9 comp here. I mean, right now, the way King of the Hill is, when you allow double hero, I'm sort of the mind that you almost have to run the double Winston comp. It just seems too good in regards to what it gives you. Obviously, that might be getting tilted a bit by C9 usually winning with that comp, but even here, LG, where I don't think they run the double Winston comp as much, they had their best success running the double Winston comp, so I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough spot. A lot of people are not thrilled about where it is in King of the Hill. Of course, we all talk about hero limits here and there. I just think that, you know, generally organic answers are found to these types of compositions, and maybe at some point someone will find the good answer. You're only going to beat it through practice, but right now the best answer is to run the exact same thing. We have seen Reapers have some success on it, just it's difficult because then you don't have Winstons. What do you cut out of this comp to add that in? Yeah, it's a strange spot, but 24 Eyes, London Monkey, DJ Party, whatever you want to call it, has been very strong, especially in the hands of Cloud9.
Yeah, and I don't really have much more to say on that. I think I will say this from the caster point of view, it's definitely hard to sort of call those matches because you see 2 Winstons versus 2 Winstons. It's lightning everywhere. It's like, all right, here's the overview. Whatever team gets the first kill, here we go. I don't know. I mean, there's a lot of talk going on between 2 heroes, 1 hero, etc. I do think the double Winston stuff on King of the Hill, especially with both teams running it, is it's not my most favorite thing to watch.
Well, who knows, though? I mean, maybe a patch changes everything. People got a little bored of double orb when it was very prevalent for 2 weeks in a row, and then a patch came in and changed everything. So who knows what the future holds. Right now, this is where the NA meta is, especially for King of the Hill. The EU meta, very different. So if you don't necessarily like watching this style of play and prefer double McCree on King of the Hill, tune in for more EU stuff. But yeah, that's just where we're at right now. And so far, there has been no good or perfect answer to it.
Yep. That being said, this is the Overkill.gg Overwatch League. That was our first set of the night. We're going to be bringing you the next set in just a few moments, but we're taking a quick break, and we'll be back in about 6 minutes. Stay tuned.